Hello, my name is Elizabeth Hartstar. I've been an astrologer since my first class in, when was that? 1969, I believe. And I've been hooked on learning as much as possible about the sacred science of astrology ever since, for it helped me a lot to understand myself. And it's the most ancient science, for peoples all over the planet have always looked to the heavens and the stars that bring us much light. In 2016, I finally completed a vision I've had of creating an astrology deck, and I called it Astro-Oracle. My website is astro-oracle.com, where you can purchase, it's the only place to purchase the astrology deck. And it has all the signs of the zodiac. This is the Leo. I don't know if you can actually see the symbol. We've got the constellation, the symbol of Leo, the symbol for the planet that rules it, the sun, and then the fire sign cards have the fiery ring around them. Then I have the planet cards. This is the sun. The ruler governs the sign of Leo. It says create and shine. And the planet cards are actually photos from NASA, so they hold the vibration of the energy of the planets. And then I have the house cards. And as you can see, the color wheel, I use the color wheel, as many others have, for starting with red Eris and going around the color wheel, the 12 signs of the zodiac, vibrating to those colors. So Leo in the 5th house is yellow. I also have included in the Astro-Oracle deck the 4 asteroid goddesses. There are many thousands of asteroids in the asteroid belt, but in the 1800s, the 4 large asteroids were named after goddesses. And a wonderful astrologer, Demetra George, I believe it was the late 60s or early 70s, wrote the wonderful book and named them asteroid goddesses. So I've included in my astrology deck the asteroid goddesses. This is the goddess, and I have found that the asteroid goddesses represent the feminine expression of the elements of fire, water, air, and earth. And I found using this really speaks a lot to the astrology. I feel that these 4 asteroid goddesses of fire, water, air, earth are contributing and assisting us in helping to birth a new frequency, a new consciousness, a new earth. So the first that I was talking about is Pallas, or Pallas Athene. I hope you can see the symbol. I have the symbols, and she's the air goddess. And so I have the cloud formations around to indicate she's the goddess of air. And on the card, it says truth advocate. For Pallas Athene, the goddess of air, is the wise woman that is unafraid to speak out, for she is an advocate, a strategist, and gives voice. The mythology of Pallas Athene is she's born out of the head of Zeus, god, fully armored, and the owl is her totem, for it sees and through everything in the night and all around. So she speaks truth and is unafraid to speak out. She's protected by her wisdom. The next asteroid goddess is the fire goddess, Vesta. So she has the fiery ring around the symbol, which looks like a flame, for she is the keeper of the flame. Vesta is the fire goddess who is dedicated. It says dedication and devotion. She's like the priestess energy that is dedicated and devoted to being a pure vessel, channel for spirit to come through. Then the next asteroid goddess is Juno. And that's the symbol for Juno. And then she's the goddess of water. So it's a kind of watery waves around her symbol. And it says equality and partnership. For Juno is the goddess that is like the bride, the queen, the empowered feminine. She knows her worth. And she's all about being in right relationship with self and with others. She often has to demand respect and honoring if she is not given that respect, for she knows her worth. So Juno, the goddess of water, the divine feminine in the sacred marriage. Then the fourth asteroid goddess, Ceres. As you can see, it's spelled like cereal, for she's the earth mother, the earth goddess. And you'll see around her symbol, they're actually little leaves. Ceres is the earth mother that feeds us, that nourishes, that gives birth. So those are the four asteroid goddesses. I also included in my Astro-Oracle deck the two newly discovered that are known as dwarf planets now. The first one that was discovered is Sedna. Now this symbol is the symbol that came to me the day I heard that the 10th planet named Sedna had been discovered. I didn't know who Sedna was until after this symbol came to me, and came to realize that I felt it was a wonderful symbol that symbolized Sedna's journey. And I wrote on her card, emerge. For the story of Sedna is that she was a motherless, her mother died in childbirth, and she would not marry any of the suitors that came to get her. Her story is not a very happy one, for there's many legends of Sedna, and actually I did a video with my astrologer friend Linda Kubota Bird. We have a YouTube channel called Astrology Star Sisters, and we did a whole video on Sedna and the other dwarf planet called Eris. So Sedna is about the divine feminine emerging from a place of being unseen and unheard. Sedna in the Inuit, Alaskan, Eskimo, Arctic peoples is the goddess of the sea, who gave birth from the blood in her hands to all of the sea life. I see Eris, who was discovered the next year. Sedna was discovered in 2003 and announced to the world in 2004. And then Eris was found. And they were found outside Pluto in a region that's very icy cold called the Oort clouds, the way beyond Pluto, in what they call, quote, no man's land. So Eris, as you can see, it looks like Mars, but with the arrow pointing in the earth, and she's the goddess of chaos and disruption. So where Sedna is under the sea, unseen and unheard, and is being asked to now emerge and be honored as the one that feeds the people. And then Eris, I see as her sister, and Sedna is known as is said to be a red planet. I've lived in Sedona, Arizona, which is known as the land of the red rocks. And as you can see, Sedna's name, S-E-D-N-A, is like Sedona, which is red. Eris, I made green. There's no photos because they're so small, but I felt like this was because Eris can have a lot of envy and be angry. She was not invited to the wedding of the gods, and she was told that she threw the rotten apple that started the Trojan War. So Eris is going to be heard and seen no matter what, where I believe she's saying to her sister under the water, Sedna, come on, it's time for you to be heard and seen. So Eris has been very strong in the astrology for the last few years, especially when she was close to the planet Uranus, which brings light and awareness and change. That's when the Me Too movement and all came up. So Eris is the divine feminine that's going to be heard and seen, and she's going to make a stink till things change. So I added those two newly discovered, for I feel the asteroid goddesses and Eris and Sedna are the 6 goddesses that I put in my astrology Astro-Oracle deck that are helping to give birth to this new age of Aquarius, when there's equality between the masculine and the feminine. And as all know, everything is born through the feminine on this planet Earth. So I'd like to speak about the new moon. It's July 20th of 2020. For these asteroid goddesses that I spoke about are very strongly placed, are really what I call lit up in this powerful new moon horoscope. The first of the asteroid goddesses that is strongly placed in this new moon in the sign of Cancer, and Cancer is ruled by the moon. So it's the new moons are always the time when the farmers would plant the seeds. It's the most fertile time. And it's the time of the month of planting our seeds of intention that will grow and blossom at the full moon, which is always 2 weeks after the new moon. So at a new moon, the sun and the moon are very close. And at this July 20th, 2020, the asteroid goddess of fire, Vesta, is very close. It's called conjunct the new moon. And as I said, the fire goddess is like the priestess energy that's dedicated and devoted to being a channel for creation and for truth and for light. So this new moon is about what is our dedication? What do we want to give birth to at this new moon of the moon, which is the feminine expression. Also at this new moon, the sun and the moon and Vesta, the fire goddess, are opposite the planet Saturn. And here's a photo of Saturn. Saturn says focus. For Saturn's job is to build solid foundations and structures that support life. And Saturn is the timekeeper. Some call him the Lord of Karma because Saturn takes time to go around the horoscope. Within 28 to 30 years, Saturn comes back to where it was when you were born, and it's always a significant time. So this new moon opposite Saturn, where the moon goes through all the signs in 28 days, in 1 month, Saturn takes 28 years. In the body, Saturn is our bones, our skin, our teeth, our knees, everything that gives us form and structure. So it takes time. And so being opposite this new moon, oppositions are 180 degrees apart. So it's like the new moon with the goddess, priestess, fire goddess Vesta is saying, what are you dedicated and devoted, and what do we need to do in order to build solid foundations and structures that support the moon, the home, the family. So this has been, as we know, all that's going on in the world in 2020 has been playing out in an unusual way. We're all dealing with how things are going to look, what we want to create. This started in January of 2020 when the two planets, Saturn and Pluto, and here's Pluto, it says transform, for Pluto is known as a generational, transformational planet. So Saturn says, okay, it's time for transformation to take place. Pluto was discovered when the atom bomb, so it's all about the right use of power. Pluto ultimately will destroy whatever it needs to in order to evolve, for Pluto's desire is for evolution. But in that evolution, old forms and structures may be destroyed. And so, as we can see in the world since January of 2020, and astrologers have been looking towards 2020 as a great time of change, knowing that Saturn and Pluto only come together once every 37 to 38 years. And with it comes major global change. It's a reset time. In the past, when Saturn and Pluto came together, World War I began and World War II. And the last time Saturn and Pluto were together was in 1982. And that was the global AIDS epidemic. 2020, it has been COVID. That's changing our world. Everything is in divine plan and divine purpose for our evolution. And as many see, the forms and structures are not supporting all life on this planet. Things need to change. And so this is what we are seeing happening. So the other asteroid goddess that is strong in this new moon horoscope and throughout 2020 is the goddess of air, Pallas Athene, or just called Pallas by some, the truth advocate, who is unafraid to speak out and be heard. She's very strong in the astrology this year because she's very close to Saturn and Pluto that I talked about. Oops. And Jupiter has also, all of these planets have been in Capricorn. So with Pallas Athene being with the big planets of transformation and change, and with Jupiter also right now, she is speaking out. And this has a lot to do with people speaking out for their rights and for the changes that need to take place in the world. And she will be very active throughout 2020. Then the other asteroid goddess that is strongly placed in this new moon, Cancer new moon, July 20th, 2020, is the goddess of water, Juno, the empowered feminine that says equality in partnerships, about coming together, working together, being in balance, honoring each other. And in this new moon, Juno, the goddess of cooperation, is in the sign of Libra, which is a wonderful place. She is all about balance and harmony and cooperation and partnership, which is the sign of Libra that's ruled by Venus, the goddess of love. So Juno right now is in Libra, and she's opposite Mars and Chiron. Mars went into its own sign of Eris this month, which is always a powerful placement when planets enter the sign that they most express or govern. And Mars in the body is our blood. And Eris is the first sign, it's the ram. The positive energy of Eris is it loves to start things and pioneer and lead and has great energy. The sun, when in Eris, is said to be exalted because it's springtime and it's new life. And it's got lots of energy because Mars is our passion, our energy, the blood that flows in our body. But Mars is opposite Juno. For Eris is, here I am, I'm the ram, and Libra is, wait a minute, let's work together. Let's find balance. Let's balance love, Venus, Libra, and Mars, Eris. So again, the opposition is they're looking at each other, and Juno is all about cooperation, equality, working together, coming into balance. Mars doesn't necessarily like to be stopped because once it starts going, it just doesn't want anyone to stop it, but we need to find that balance. And it turns out that Chiron is very close to Mars right now in Eris. Chiron was discovered in 1977. So it's a new energy, and it was named after the centaur, the wounded transformational healer. Let's see, do I have the symbol? Because it looks like an old-fashioned key, the symbol that's used for Chiron. For Chiron is the shamanic healer. Chiron has brought us the keys to heal those deep wounds of separation. So here, together with Mars, whenever Chiron touches a planet, and it's in the sign of Aries with Mars, the planet that rules Aries. And as I said, it's our energy. Aries, here I am. But Chiron is saying, we're here now to heal the wounds around being too forceful. For Mars can be the warrior, it can be war, it can be anger, as well as a wonderful energy to initiate and create. They're opposite, the goddess of equality and partnership and cooperation. So this is very much a time of healing old wounds. And we see this playing out so strongly in our world and in the politics and in the separation that's going on even between friends now, with all the theories and information, and one person believes this and one person believes that, and it's like, wow, there's a lot going on right now. And so it's a time of taking time to consider the other. So not only is the opposition of Juno, the goddess of equality, opposite Mars, energy, initiative, and the wounded healer, but they're square. They're both opposite each other and then square. I'll show you. This is called a T-square in astrology. I did the symbol. Here's Mercury. Mercury is squaring them, and it looks like a bow and arrow because here the bow is about Venus and Mars healing wounds of separation, and then Mercury, which is like the arrow that's pulled back. And where's the arrow pointing? Well, it's pointing right at the Capricorn. So the T-square, when the planet that is like the arrow that's pulled back or squared, making a challenging aspect, is Mercury. And Mercury is now in the sign of Cancer, which is a water sign, so it's very sensitive. So here, this kind of working out this coming into balance. And when Mars is square Mercury, it can be a time of hot tempers. The square, it's challenging because fiery Mars and then sensitive emotions of Cancer in the mind and how we think. So this can be a time of that we need to be really mindful and to listen to the other's opinions and know that's right for them. It might not be our truth, but let's work together. Let's find solutions. Let's communicate with love, which is what Juno's asking. So the other asteroid goddess that is strongly placed within this new moon, July 20th, 2020 horoscope is Ceres, the Earth Mother. And right now she's in the sign of Pisces. Pisces being the last sign of the zodiac, it's like the cosmic ocean that all the signs are contained within. So our Earth Mother is like very empathic to the needs of all. And in the astrology, an unusual configuration is created with Ceres. And this is the configuration. It's called a finger of God aspect, or yod. And I read it like a chariot driver, where Juno, the goddess of water, the bride, the queen that knows her worth, that's all about right relationships and harmony and balance, is in the chariot seat, and Ceres, the earth mother, is working in harmony. This is blue lines called a sextile to Uranus in the sign of Taurus. Uranus entered the sign of Taurus 2 years ago. Uranus was discovered when electricity and the revolutions were going on. So when planets are discovered, we're ready to use their energy. And as everyone knows, when technology and electricity came in, our lives changed a lot. So 2 years ago, when Uranus went into the sign of Taurus, that represents change, light, awakening. Taurus being the earth sign, the fixed earth sign that has to do with our stability and security, our economy, our values. So we're in this time of radical change and earth changes. But in this new moon horoscope, in this Yod aspect, and a Yod aspect is the finger of God. So Uranus and Ceres are working together. They're like the horses pulling the chariot. So what does Uranus and Taurus and Ceres and Pisces working together say? The Earth Mother is saying, what are the needs of the people? What is the new economy, the new resources, the new changes that are taking place? And Juno, being the focal point in Libra, is again saying we need to work together as equals and really listen to one another. So I wanted to speak about the asteroid goddesses in this amazing new moon chart, as well as talking about the nodes of the moon, the lunar nodes. The moon holds our story. It's our grandmother that shines the light of the sun onto Earth. So the nodes of the moon tell the story, and they tell the story of our collective, the collective theme. So a few months ago, the nodes moved into the sign of Gemini. The north node always shows where we're going. The south node shows where we've been and what we've learned from the past. So the north node being in Gemini, Gemini is known as a mutable air sign. The mutable signs are movable, changeable. They gather and distribute energy. And in the air sign of Gemini, it's information, communication. Gemini is ruled by the planet Mercury, which is the messenger, which is the communicator, the teacher that loves to gather knowledge and information and share it. Then the south node, which is always opposite, and they work together in pairs. So the south node in Sagittarius, which is the arrow that's pointing, one pointed, the unity, the superconscious mind, the higher mind that sees the bigger picture, the global. Jupiter is the largest planet in our solar system. So ultimately, Jupiter is about growth and expansion and brings wisdom of that unity consciousness, where Mercury and Gemini is the twins, looking at both sides, the dark, the light, the black, the white, the yin, the yang. So we just went into these planetary, and as I said, they're collective themes, for they have to do with the eclipse cycles for the next 18 months that we are all globally experiencing. And as you have seen the last few months, when the nodes went into these signs of information, mutable signs, lots going on, there's information about everything, beliefs about everything. There's a lot of, you're right, you're wrong, we should wear the mask, we shouldn't, what is the truth? So we're looking at the past. What have we learned from the past? What is the highest information? What is our truth? So this is a 18-month time period of really listening to others. I've come to the conclusion that we're all right, because who knows what the ultimate truth is. We're all in this strange soup together with what's going on in the world. It is like one big world now because of the information, because of the internet, because we are able to know what's going on in China, where over 100 years ago we wouldn't have known. You know, so all this information is coming in, and I think that it's so important for us to honor one another and not try to, there's the Mars and Eris, overpower, which can be overpowering. My truth is the ultimate truth. For it's creating a lot of friction in the world and between friends and families. And I think that's really important for us to consider that this is our truth and we have free will to choose, and we need to honor and respect other people's beliefs. So another wonderful planetary aspect that will be taking place and is very strong this month, July, on the 27th, the planets that will be coming together. Where did I write it down? I don't know where I wrote that down. I think it was, well, it's on July 22nd, actually, that Mercury is sextiling Uranus. And the sextile brings opportunities. They're working in harmony. Mercury, again, is the messenger, the way we think, communicate, share our ideas. And Uranus is also known as actually the higher octave of Mercury, because it's cosmic consciousness. As I said, it's when electricity, when light, with new ideas, new technologies, new ways of communicating. So I think a lot of opportunities right this month for positive ideas and positive solutions to the problems we're facing in the planet right now. The other aspect that, oh, this is the one that's coming up July 27th, that began February 20th and will continue through to October, is Jupiter. Again, Jupiter, the planet of expansion, growth, good fortune. It's like the Santa Claus of the zodiac. It's the largest planet with many moons, and it loves to give. And it's ultimately about super consciousness, higher wisdom, freedom. It's making that wonderful sextile aspect to the planet Neptune. And Neptune is the planet that is not of the Earth, but is of spirit. It's formless. So the planets Jupiter and Neptune really have to do with our truth and our belief. And so they're working harmoniously together. They came together exactly February 20th, right, I guess, as the COVID was starting. July 27th, 2020, and then they'll be exact again in October 12th. So I see this as this higher calling when we tune into our spiritual self. And I really feel like it's important to ask ourselves, what feels good to you? Like really looking at our immune systems. It's so important for this COVID that we have healthy immune systems. And when we're in fear, confusion, our immune systems shut down. So the other planet I want to talk about that's strongly placed for many years, but particularly this year, is that planet Neptune has gone into its own sign of Pisces and remains there till 2026. And so this is about Neptune on the highest level, is this connection to that which is beyond the veils, which is our highest truth, which is our, it's the music of the spheres, and it's really being able to tap into that other realms and other dimensions. And it has to do with connecting with the all. On the lower level, Neptune can be very confusing because it's not of the earth. So being disillusioned or being deceived. And again, what is true? What is, this is a theme that's going to be going on strongly for the next 18 months, particularly because of the planetary nodes I talked about that are all about all this information. And then Neptune is what's true and what's not true. Our beliefs are truth. What feels good? And I think really looking at how can we make things better in the world? What are the solutions to the problems we're facing? And giving others the opportunity and the freedom to follow their truth. So I hope this was enlightening for you, this July new moon. And I look forward, I have, as I said, my YouTube channel with my good friend, wonderful astrologer, Linda Kubota Bird, Astrology Star Sisters. And I'm hoping that I'll put this on my new YouTube channel that I will have my name, Elizabeth Heartstar. I wanted to share my new logo with you and my my website. That's the Heartstar logo. And I look forward to sharing more astrology insights. And if you have any questions, or if you would like to get a copy of or a Astro-Oracle deck, which is a wonderful divination tool as well as a teaching tool for astrology, please go to my website, and I look forward to being here with you again. Many blessings, and may you all be safe and healthy. May we create this new age, this new time. We are on the cusp of the Aquarian age, which is a time of equality, unity, and love. Blessed be.